Hello everyone there in the vinyl community, hope you're all keeping safe and well. It's John here again with another video. This time I'm going to do a David Bowie collection of his unofficial releases, his best of unofficial releases. I'm not going to focus on all of them, and I'm not going to kind of go with the real kind of bootleggy kind of late 70s, 80s kind of bootleg, which was the one that the actual packaging and the actual artwork on it was kind of very kind of just kind of photocopy as such. But yeah, I'm going to kind of focus more on the albums that kind of came out in mainly in the 90s, kind of bootlegs, old bootlegs that were kind of redone as such, you may say. So yeah, even though this is a very famous one, this is the Santa Monica gig, of course, the Ziggy show 72, and then there's other ones similar to this. You can get Dollars and Drag from I think around the 76 tour, and of course the famous 1984 show, which was the Dollars and Drag bootleg, of course. So yeah, going to start off with this one here. This one is Strange Fascination. Two separate albums there, same cover for both of them, different covers there on the back. Yeah, this one went on to become the record store release Cracked Actor, the LA 74 show. Yeah, this came out in the early 90s, but this was floating around for a long time. But it's great to see this get an official release on the record store day release. The sound quality on this is absolutely okay, if I may say so, but it's absolutely fantastic, of course, on the official release. But it was good sounding anyway for the 90s, of course, because what I was used to was kind of buying them on cassettes. You could buy bootlegs on cassettes, so it was very hard to get LPs in the 80s, bootleg LPs, and you could get them on cassettes, and the sound quality used to be absolutely crap. You used to record them off an album and sell them for two or £3 at the time. But yeah, that's the Strange Fascination gig. Went on, of course, to become Cracked Actor. Right, this, of course, is the very famous Toy album from around the 2000 period. Yeah, this was pulled, as you know, last minute, unfortunately. I do think this will eventually get an official release, but it kind of only became it was released on bootleg around, not that long ago, but 10 years ago, I think we first got a glimpse of it. Yeah, it has some fantastic songs on it, of course. He revisits a lot of his own material, songs like the London Boy, City Boy Blue, Heat of the Morning, The Brilliant Shadow Man, of course, Let Me Sleep Beside You, Hole in the Ground, Uncle Floyd, of course, which went on to the Heaton album, was renamed, of course, Slip Away. But I like what he done with this album, even though I'm not over keen on his early material prior to the Space Oddity album. But I kind of have a soft spot for this one. I just like the way he does them. A lot of these songs appeared kind of as B-sides around his Heaton sessions and stuff. And he did actually perform some of these songs live during his Hours promo tour as well. But yeah, I do think this will get an official release. I have this also on CD. It's a different cover, and it actually has more tracks on it as well. But yep, that's Toy. This one here I like, and I bought this primarily because of the cover. This was released just after his passing, of course, in 2014, of course, or 2016. What am I saying? Excuse me. Yeah, but it's just generally songs from around the Serious Moonlight tour. The songs are not hard to come by or anything like that, but the cover is great, and it's on a red vinyl as well. I don't see this around as often now, but I liked this at the time when it was released, and I think the picture is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So that is David Bowie, In Memory Of is the name of that one. This one here is High. I'm going to show a series now of records from his Ways of Wizards collection. Ways of Wizards released a series of David Bowie. I think they released about 5 or 6 of them in the early 2000s. These were... the sound quality on these were actually very, very good, I have to say. And the great thing about these is also, with every album, they gave you a DVD of the actual show as well. So that's great. And I like this too because High, of course, it has the kind of similar artwork to Low. And renamed it High, of course. And it's from the 78 tour, the Berlin show in 78. That was released, recorded in August 78. But yeah. Pictures look good on that one as well. The only downfall with the Ways of Wizards is the fact that they didn't always use the artwork from that particular time as such. They did it with this piece, but with other albums they didn't, which I'll come to now in a moment. This is on a yellow vinyl, and they're all individually numbered as well, so yeah, it's fantastic. This one here, it's a nice cover. Rock in Rio from Brazil, of course, 1990, September 20th, 1990. Again, once again, it has the DVD on it. As you see there, the picture there is from the outside tour. They didn't focus, of course, on the Sound and Vision tour. But the sound quality on this is absolutely fantastic as well. This was another one they released. This is on white vinyl. This lad here, another great one. This is David Bowie, Man in the Shade. It's on white vinyl as well, I believe, yes. This is from his Germany show, June 22nd, 1996, the festival, of course. Some fantastic songs on that. There's a great cover of Lust for Life on that particular show as well, Iggy's Lust for Life. Yeah, as you can see there, the artwork, yeah, is from around, I think that picture there, Man in the Shade, I think that's from around the Glass by the time, 87, of course. That particular picture there is from then. Yeah, that's another nice piece on the Ways of Visits. This one here, another great show. This is Thursday Child from the Hours promo tour, of course. But this picture, as you can see there, that's the from around 1990, of course. But this one here is from around the reality era, of course. That's great. This is on a green vinyl. And again, as I said, it has the DVD as well of the particular show. That's fantastic. They're all double albums as well. This one here, again, Bowie Hours in Paris. This is easy to come by, this particular unofficial release. It was released, I think, on CD anyway, a few years back anyway, as kind of a semi-unofficial release. Again with the DVD. And again, this is from around the reality time as well, if you see the picture there. I'll just open this one up just to show you. This one is on a blue vinyl. But it has pictures there from around Hours anyway, so that's fantastic. And again, as I said, the sound quality on these pieces is absolutely fantastic. And this one here, I think this was the last one to be released by them. This is the Kiss Me Kate with Kate Moss there. This is from the show that he done in New York in June of 2002, where he took requests and he sang songs, and it has the DVD as well of that particular show as well. Some great songs on these as well. That's that lad there. I think that was the last one to be released by them. And they've done other artists too. They concentrated on people like Bruce Springsteen, Pink Floyd, Blondie. I have a couple on Pink Floyd, and I have one on Blondie too, which is fantastic. The show that they done in Glastonbury a few years back, when they opened up at the Glastonbury show, and sounds fantastic as well. This one here, David Bowie, White Light, White Heat. This is one of the first bootlegs I actually bought. This is 1990, and it has unofficial kind of material from around his Ziggy Stardust era, which of course went on to become, went on to the record Bowie at the Beeb. A lot of the material on this has songs like Coops and White Light, White Heat and White Light, White and Free Crowd, and the Brilliant Bombers, of course, which was an outtake from the Hunky Dory album. So some nice material on that as well. That's White Light, White Heat, great cover there from the Ziggy Stardust Hammersmith Odeon show. This one here, David Bowie, Almost Grown, another live gig. This is from the Giant Stadium Sound and Vision tour. Sounds fantastic. Radio broadcast. That's a very good show. And same tour, David Bowie Sound and Vision. This is recorded live at the Ohio Hall, I think it is, in Rotterdam in late March 1990. 30th of March actually, 1990. Like the cover on that too. Sound quality on this is brilliant. The only thing I feel during the Sound and Vision tour was with the particular songs, he rushed through them very, very quickly. He kind of had the songs sang very quickly, and his interacting with the audiences was very, very minimum then as well. Now, this one I thought was a very clever idea. This one here is called David Bowie Last Night in Earl's Court, and this went on to become Welcome to the Blackout, which again was released for Record Store Day. But the thing I like about this is the fact that they kind of took the idea, they took the Stage album from '78, and they took the same idea as Black Star, and they kind of just, excuse me, not Black Star, but they put a star on it and used the same idea as The Next Day and kind of just blocked it out, which I thought was fantastic. Very good idea. But a great show, and the sound quality in this is very good. Naturally, of course, it's not as good as the Welcome to the Blackout album, but the sound quality is actually very good on this. And it's on a colour vinyl too. I think it's on a blue vinyl, yeah. So that's Last Night at Earl's Court. This one here, another fantastic show. This one, Subway to Seattle, live in Washington, of course, in '76 on a blue vinyl. Fantastic sound. This one, a good few years. Double album as well. Most of these are double albums. This is Ziggy Stardust live at the Rainbow Theatre in 1972. Another fantastic sounding record. These were done on a K West Records. This and this lad here, a record company called K West Records. Of course, they're not official, obviously. But fantastic show. This one here, just kind of songs from gigs that he done around America during his kind of Earthling era as such. But some fantastic songs on it. Scary Monsters, Dead Men Walking, of course. Fashion, Little Wonder. Just kind of the best of material from them. But the sound quality is fantastic on it. And just took a shine to this lad here. This one here, another great album. This one is David Bowie, Manhattan Man. This has some rare material on it as well. Live from New York, May 2002. And from Denmark, July 5th, 2002. Various songs. That's that lad there. Again, most of these are all numbered, and they're on, this one in particular is on a red, yellow splatter album. Again, these are nice pieces to own. This one here I liked a lot. Kind of has the same idea as the Changes Bowie album. Changes 1 Bowie, Changes 2 Bowie. So you have a black and white cover, and they call it Changes Live Bowie. That's a picture from around 78. But it has some great live performance. Just kind of they picked generally all his tours and took a song from it, like 5 years from his '76 tour, Life on Mars from his Serious Moonlight tour, Time from Glass by the tour, Rebel from Sound of Vision tour, and then Shopping for Girls, for instance, from his Tin Machine tour, and Joe the Lion from his Outside tour. So good idea. That's another one I like. Changes Live Bowie. And this one here I like a lot too. David Bowie Transmission. This again is from Germany. Berlin show. This got an official release, of course, for the Year's Exhibition. I think it was they released this particular album live in Berlin. That's that lad there. Now another one here. This one here I like a lot too. Instant Star. Cover is a bit awkward. That's still there from his Valentine's Day video, but it has some good material on this. It has kind of songs of people that he kind of worked with as such, like Planet of Dreams, a song that he done with Gaylan Dorsey, Pictures of Lily, of course, The Who from The Substitute, songs from The Who, which he sings to, The Brilliant Like a Rolling Stone that he done with Mick Ronson, The Cynic that he done with Kashmir, and Isn't It Evening, another fantastic song that he done with Earl Slick is on this as well. And there's a song called Saviour too that he done with Christine Young, who she done backing vocals actually during some of his gigs on his Hours tour. But that's a fantastic song as well. And you have a couple of other songs like Nature Boy from the soundtrack of Moulin Rouge. That'd be the Massive Attack version is on this. So this is a nice album to own as well. I like this one a lot as well. It's fantastic. This one here, Ear Healing, I believe it's called. This kind of has songs from around his Earthling time. So some live performances, some rare mixes and things like that. It has the Pet Shop Boys version that he done of Hello Space Boy. It has Real Cool World, which was from the soundtrack, of course, movie with Gabriel Byrne. 7 Years in Tibet, it has a mix of that. Telling Lies, it has the Adam F mix of that. Seven has the Beck remix, and then it has the mix with the 9 Inch Nails of I'm Afraid of Americans, the rock mix of Thursday's Child. So it's a nice album. This, I like the cover as well. David Bowie, Ear Healing. Now this one here, This is a nice piece. This is the LA gig that he done on December 6th in 1997. It's a nice album. This is on a, again it's limited, it's on a Coke bottle green vinyl style, 156 of 500, acoustic show. Some nice songs on that, Heavens and Hey Gene Genie, Man Who Sold the World, Fashion, Scary Monsters. That there. This one here I like a lot too. David Bowie, Digging into the Archives, another fantastic show. Some very, very rare material on this. This one has his last ever live performance, I should say, the concert that he done with Alicia Keys, the songs Wild as the Wind, Fantastic Voyage and Changes, which is great. It also has America, which he done live at the Robin Hood benefit gig, of course, in 2002. So some good stuff on this. And the Revolutionary song, of course, which was again released for Record Store Day last year, I believe. So some nice stuff on that as well. It's nice to get some of these albums and with these kind of songs all together as such in one place. It's sometimes they put a lot of thought into these, and they do sound good, some of them. But as I said, some of them, they're just not worth anything. They're just, when they keep releasing the same gig over and over again, primarily live concerts, of course. Especially, they focus a lot on his 9 Inch Nails gig live at the Amphitheatre, and also the one Sound of Vision tour, especially the Brazil gig, which keeps getting a release over and over again under different names with different record companies. This here, another nice piece. This is Reaching the Very Edge. This one has the show that he done on TFI Friday in October 1999, where he done the songs Survive, Rebel, Rebel, Wild as the Wind and Starman. Sounds absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And there's a gig there from Spain as well. Thursday, Charles 7, Survive, Pretty Things Are Going to Hell. Sounds absolutely fantastic, this show too. Number 344 of 500. This one here, David Bowie, Man, I'm in Danger. So this is a kind of a sad show because this is his last show, his final show when he took ill, of course. It's a brilliant performance. The sound quality on this is absolutely fantastic as well. But unfortunately, this was the last show that he done. And you can't notice it because he's Bowie being Bowie, of course. His performance is absolutely outstanding as always. So yeah. Even though band members said that you could tell he was very ill during the show, but there's no signs of it in his singing whatsoever. But I'm kind of sad to listen to this, to think that this was his last kind of show. He took very ill after the show, of course, and had to cancel the remaining dates on the reality tour. So that's David Bowie, Man, I'm in Danger, live at the Hurricane Festival, June 25th, 2004. Double album. Now, this one here I like a lot as well. David Bowie, Odds and Sods. Kind of just various songs from around his career as such. It has songs like You've Got a Habit of Leaving, alternative mix from 65, Superman rare demo, Changes demo. It has Young Americans with a different ending on it. Then there's kind of rehearsals from around the Mark Bolan time, Mark Bolan show era. Boys Keep Swinging from the Kenny Everett show. Imagine, which was the unreleased longer track from the Hong Kong show, of course in the series Moonlight Show, when he sang that in memory of his good friend John Lennon. And then you have Wild Things from Chili Down, We Prick You, unreleased version, which sounds totally different on this. Mother, which was an unreleased song as well. And then you've got live performances, songs like Without You, I'm Nothing, of course, the Placebo song, America Again from the Robin Hood show, Fashion with Damon Albarn live on French TV, a French show in there. And yeah, it sounds great. It's a double album. Nice picture there from around the time of The Man Who Sold the World, of course. But sound quality on this is absolutely fantastic as well. And there's a lot of material on this kind of that's hard to come by as well. So this is a nice album once again to have. Now we move on to some Borah Supply releases, which Borah Supply are just outstanding. They're just as good as any record company. They've got a very good name for themselves. They've gone under now, I believe. They don't make any more albums, but yeah, they had some absolutely fantastic. They focused a lot on Bowie, and they released some absolute fantastic albums by him. This one here, of course. This one is Jesus on Dateline, David Bowie live in the Bahamas in 2003 from his reality show, number 74 of 500. And I can't I can't say better things about Borah Supply, because they absolutely really did put everything they had into these pressings. They just sound absolutely fantastic. They really do. They're the best kind of bootleg out there, I have to say. They were for Bowie anyway. So, and the art material and everything about the albums was absolutely brilliant as well. So great songs on this. Heroes, Sunday, China Girl, Fall Dog Bombs the Moon, Rebel Rebel. That was a great show, that. Jesus on Deadline, Bahamas, December 20, 2003. Now, next up, a song very dear to my heart. This is David Bowie, another Borah Supply release. Dublin, I'm in Clover. Fantastic album. This is a 3-piece album. Has the complete show that I was at, I have to say. Fantastic show. But as I said, I just didn't appreciate it at the time, because Outside was an album that took me a few years generally to get into as such. At the time, I was kind of, you know, not stepping away from Bowie, but I was kind of wanting him to do more kind of his well-known hits as such, you know, songs from Hunky Dory like Life on Mars Changes or Ziggy or something like that. And he was doing all the songs, but he was doing more obscure stuff like Man Who Sold the World, Boys Keep Swinging, Andy Warhol, things like that. So, yeah, but looking back at it now, what a performance, an absolutely fantastic performance. And each vinyl has the colour, it's a white vinyl, it's a orange vinyl, and it's a grey vinyl. So it's our tricolours are there as well, Islands tricolours, which is fantastic, but a brilliant show. And again, the quality of this album is absolutely amazing, and the sound quality, I can't say enough about it. It's just like listening to a proper release, a proper official release of a live album. And this one here, another one of my favourites, this is Accidental Sirens from around his Earthling tour. This is recorded in Detroit on September 22nd, 1997. This has some absolutely fantastic songs. Opens up with that brilliant Quicksand, Always Crashing in the Same Car, Superman. What a show. Again, it's a 3-piece album in a box set. I won't open them up, so I'll just show them to you. I do have another video where I show a lot of these on a channel called Ziggy Stardust, which I will leave a link to on my at the end of this, where I can show all these, opening them up and showing the vinyls themselves. But this is a fantastic showing as well, and they really did, Borah Supply really did do a fantastic job of these albums. Another one of my favourites by Borah Supply, this lad here, from his Glass Spider days. Another trifold album. This is a 4-piece album. Fantastic album. Live in Berlin. And again, the sound quality is unbelievable. He was kind of very sentimental about this show, because you could hear on the other side of the wall the fact that the stage was built across the West Indies. You could hear on the other side of the wall the fans singing along to his songs, especially Heroes, and he kind of felt very kind of sentimental about that at the time. There we have it. Another great album. And this one here, another Borah Supply release, fantastic. Glastonbury, I showed this also as well in one of my other uploads. But the sound quality on this, right, it may not be as good as the Polydor release that was, Parlophone release, sorry, that was released late last year, but it's close, I have to say, and I do prefer the artwork on this rather than the official release. It's the Glastonbury gig there. That again is on a 3-piece album. And this one here, another one of my favourites. This is from around the Outside sessions. These are kind of the longer versions, the outtakes as such from Outside. It has the full length of I Am With Name. Leon Takes Us Outside, the full sessions. The Enemy is Fragile, parts 1 and 2. Get Real, of course, which was an outtake. I think, well, that actually appears on the Outside bonus track discs, or bonus track CD with the extra discs. Nothing to Be Desired, and A Small Pot of Land. So yeah, this is kind of the lost tapes, as they call them, the sessions that never appeared. But this crowd got their hands on them and done a fantastic job, as always, with this particular album, Wishful Beginnings. Great album. This one here, another one, Slinky Secrets. This is a rehearsal show that he done in Stanley Road in November 1995. Well, it's actually over a period of time. He's rehearsing for the for his outside tour at the time, and but he done. My God, it's like listening to him live. It's just absolutely brilliant. The sound quality on this is absolutely phenomenal. It just sounds absolutely fantastic. Great songs on it too. Opens up with The Motel, Look Back in Anger, Heart's Filthy Lessons, Scary Monsters, Violent Utter Destruction. Andy Warhol, Man Soul, The War Boys, Keep Swinging, Strangers When We Meet, Breaking Glass, We Prick You, Night Flight to My Debt, DJ. It's just absolutely phenomenal show. Brilliant. And they're just rehearsals, but they sound absolutely fantastic. So David Bowie, Slinky Secrets. I like this one a lot. Yep. Next up we have, from his Tin Machine days, Tin Machine, live at the Town and Country Club. Fantastic show from 1989 on a white vinyl. Can I say, just brilliant sound. Tin Machine at their best. Great gig. In great form at this gig. His voice sounds amazing at this particular show as well. Now, another one which I think I showed earlier. Another upload. This is Tin Machine live in Japan 1992. I prefer this to the official release, which was Live of a Baby, I think it was called. This one just sounds better, and the songs are much better on this as well. The only thing about this is, as I said, I don't like the songs that were actually sung by Hunt Sales, the drummer of the band. They just don't impress me, I have to say. And I thought Heaven's in Here, which is a great song, he just lingers that song on way too long when he performs it live. But apart from that, it's a brilliant show. Japan 1992, David Bowie with Tin Machine. This one here I think I showed as well, 78 tour. Fantastic. Isola 2. Great show. Again, these were floating around on bootlegs kind of during the 80s as well. You could pick them up. But it's great to get them. This is more of a kind of a semi-official, semi-official release. But it just sounds very good, I have to say. And I like the artwork. And this one here, same idea. This is the Dallas show of 78. It was a good show. Same idea, same songs. Isola 2 tour. Now, this one here is another one I like. This one here is Look Back in Anger. This was released in 1990. And it has kind of his kind of premiere songs as such. The first time he kind of performed a lot of songs, and so the first time he appeared on particular shows as such. It has songs like Space Oddity is on this, where he was doing his press conference in 1990, his first press conference, and he forgot the words to Space Oddity, so that's on this. Never Let Me Down, that he done during his Glass Boiler tour, where he appeared on Top of the Pops in the States, performed that. Look Back in Anger from the first show with the La 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 Human Steps that he done as well as on this. Then you've got What in the World, the 78 tour, first time he performed it. Heroes from 77 when he appeared on Top of the Pops, of course. Even though it was mimed, they have him kind of, they've done the kind of brought in the crowd as such in the introduction on this particular album as well. So it sounds good. Stay, first time that he performed in 76. Driving Saturday, the first time he performed it on his 72 Ziggy Stardust tour. The American leg of the tour, I should say. And Starman, first time performed as well. So it sounds good, and some great songs, and a great cover to it as well. I love the cover of this as well. Sound quality is good on some of the songs. Some of them are not so good. But overall, it's a very, very good unofficial release to have. Now this one here, another one I like a lot. This one is Falling Up Through the Years. Now this one has the complete show of the Changes Now Bowie that's going to be released for Record Store Day this year. There we go. That's it there. And it has other songs as well. Sound quality on this is absolutely brilliant, I have to say. Sounds fantastic. Yep. It's on a white vinyl too, I believe. Yes. It's a nice piece to have. But it'd be great to get it as a Record Store Day release this year, in June or July, please God. Now, next up, I think I showed this as well earlier on. This is birthday celebration concert of his 50th, his 50th concert. Yeah, this is the show where you had a lot of kind of guest stars. This is, I said, Robert Smith from The Cure and Lou Reed, people like that. But a fantastic show. And I never understood why this never got a proper official release, because it's a fantastic show. Again, I think it probably will. This one here is Glass Spider. This, of course, has had official releases. Well, this particular show hasn't. This is from the DVD as such that you can get from Sydney in Australia. 87, Glass Spider tour. Sounds good, all the songs on it. Apart from Loving the Alien, they took Loving the Alien off this particular show. Next up, we have David Bowie, Borah Supply. Again, the songs that he done on the at the press conferences during the Glass Spider tour. Not the actual interviews, but the actual songs that he sung. Songs like Never Let Me Down, Shining Star, Time Will Crawl. A couple of old things like Gene Genie and Young Americans. So nice, sound quality good on this as well. And again, most of these are all numbered. This particular copy is 14 and 500 on a white bone splatter vinyl. And this one here, another one of my favourites. This here is David Bowie, Something for the Sigma Kids. This is the live kind of soul tour, which kind of very late on into the Diamond Dogs tour. This is November 74, November 18 to be precise, 1974. But he does songs actually from the Young Americans kind of era there. Songs like John I'm Only Dancing Again are on this. Can You Hear Me is on this. Foot Stopping, of course, which later on went on to become Fame, even though Foot Stopping is a cover version. Memory of a Free Festival, It's Gonna Be Me is also on this as well. But a fantastic show. Sound quality is okay. It's very limited, 300 copies. This particular copy number is, I think it's number 127. Yeah. Yeah, a good show of his kind of late coming into his soul kind of era, but sounds good. And yeah, another piece I like to have. Another great one of my favourites, this one here. This is from the Ziggy the Scary Monsters sessions, a collection of Scary Monsters and demos and outtakes. This is absolutely brilliant. It has the Scary Monsters and Super Creeps song alternative take. It has It's No Game alternative take. Tired of My Life demo. That's the demo, of course, for It's No Game. Cameras in Brooklyn, which of course went on to be Up the Hill Backwards. It Happens Every Day, which went on to become Teenage Wildlife. Laser, which is the early version, of course, of Scream Like a Baby. Kingdom Come alternative take. It has Because You're Young alternative take. Is The Life After Marriage, which is an instrumental piece, which was to appear on the Scary Monsters Super Creeps album, but didn't make the cut. And Panic in Detroit, which was the re-recorded version, which does appear again on the Ryko disc Scary Monsters re-release of 1991-92, I think. Yeah, a fantastic album. Scary Monsters is just my favourite period by David Bowie. My favourite album by David Bowie, Scary Monsters. So I love this album a lot. Strung Out in Heaven's High. Great. You can get this on picture disc as well. I do actually have this on picture disc as well. Very limited, this album as well. It's 108 of 150 on a blue vinyl. Next up, the famous 1980 Floor Show, which kind of got a better release, if I may say so, a few years back. It was called Dollars and Drag, which I have somewhere as well. But the sound quality on this is much, much better. It has an 84 Dodo, Zorro, Everything's Alright, Space Oddity, Can't Explain. Time Gene Genie, I Got You, Baby, Marion Faithful, of course. But yeah, nice record this. Next up, Occasional Dreaming. Now I do like this, but I like the picture actually on this. And this features kind of stuff from around his Feathers era. Now I know a lot of the material on this went on to feature on the Conversation piece box set. But this is a nice, I just like the colour, and it's on a Coke Bottle Green splatter vinyl as well, and it's number 85 of 500. That's a picture there of one of his Lindsay Kemp influence, of course, when he's with Feathers. Feathers, of course, consisted of himself, John Hutchison, and Hermione Fardingale. There we are. So great Occasional Dreaming in the heat of the morning. Just kind of there's some poetry on it that he read out, of course, when he was with Feathers at particular shows. Say La Vie, songs like that, Gospel According to Tony Day, Let Me Sleep Beside You. So it's just a nice album. Now, this one here, David Bowie Xeon tape 70 to 73. Again, it has kind of demos so forth from his early days. Rupert the Riley, April 71. Right on Mother, of course, March 71. Yeah, Gene Genie's from 72. That he done in various studios as such. You didn't hear it from me, but Lulu, Olympic Studios, London, December 73. A lot of the material on this is not actually that rare. You can pick it up on other bootlegs or other unofficial releases as well. But nice to have them here as well. I like the cover as well from around his pin-up era, of course, 73. That's that one there. Next up, we have... Yeah, this is David Bowie, Ziggy at the BBC. Great album. Now, these were released a few years before David Bowie Live at the Beeb was released. It's as kind of 70 to 72 sessions, and I picked these up before actually it was released, even before the CD was released. So it was nice to get these. Actually, no, not before the CDs. The CDs was released a lot earlier. The CDs was released in 2000, I think it was, but you couldn't get them on vinyl. The vinyl was only released there a few years ago, so I picked these up before the actual vinyl was released. But it has the songs that appear on the BBC box set, Live at the Beeb. And that's part 1, and that's Ziggy on Channel 2, which is part 2. They were released at different times. But 2 nice albums to have. And this one here, another great album. We're coming near the end now, don't worry. Ain't That Close to Love. From the Young American Sessions, of course, unreleased material, so forth, and this. A lot of this is from around the time of the Gusto, when he was recording the Gusto, before he actually went in to redo Young Americans. Of course, the Gusto went on to become Young Americans. But it had some great songs on it, with different names as such. It had Never No Turning Back, of course, which went on to become Right, I think. Never No, yeah. Young Americans, a stripped down version of Young Americans. Can You Hear Me, stripped down on it as well. After Today, it has the sample of that, of course, which only you can get on the box set, the Sound and Vision box set. And then Shilling the Rules, and, you know, kind of samples of kind of, you know, rehearsals as such around the Young American Sessions. But there's a lot of the backing vocalists on this, of course, as well, like Luther Vandross and people like that as well. So this is a nice album to have. Ain't That Close to Love. I like this album a lot. And the sound quality, again, is absolutely fantastic. Now, moving on. Now, these ones here. Yeah, this here, I liked these because these kind of came out in a 3-piece set, even though they were released individually a few years ago. And they had the kind of mixes, so forth, of the particular albums. They focused on the album with this, of course, Let's Dance. Yeah, they kind of focused on the kind of mixes, so forth, of the particular album, you know, which you couldn't really come by. They were on the 12 inches if you had the 12 inch, but there was some other kind of rare material on it as well. For instance, on this one you have the Let's Dance Live with Tina Turner, and Tonight Live with Tina Turner, which but you can get it now, of course, on the Love and the Alien box set. But when these were released, you couldn't get them then, so they were nice to have them on this anyway. But yeah, just mixes a Let's Dance, Under the Moonlight mix, Cat People mix, Shake It mix, Scary Monsters. I don't know why that's on this 7-inch mix. The Under Pressure extended pressure mix is on this as well. And as I said, the live versions of the songs that he done with Tina Turner, and the Modern Love live in Montreal in '83, which is actually the B-side to Modern Love. The song Modern Love as well is on this. But yeah, that's what they kind of generally focused on with that. And the same idea again with Tonight, kind of mixes as well. Blue Jean extended, Dancing with the Big Boys extended. Yeah, and Dancing in the Streets is on it as well, extended, the song he done with Jagger. Tumble and Twirl extended. This Is Not America is on this as well, with the Pat Metheny Group, which didn't appear on any David Bowie album. Of course, you can get it on Best Ofs and Greatest Hits, so forth. Yeah, but again, same idea with this as well. And the 12 inches and some unreleased material. And then they've done it again with the Never Let Me Down album, which has a Time Will Crawl, the Dance Crew Mix Girls, the Japanese version, which you can get on the 12 inch as well. Day and Day Out, Bang Bang Live in Montreal in '87. Never Let Me Down mix, Julie, of course, B-side to Day and Day Out, Time Will Crawl extended, and another extended version of Day in, Day Out. Again, the material on this is not that rare. Probably the rarest one is the Bang Bang, which you can get on a promo CD, actually, that was released around the Glass Spider time with other songs as well. I Love in the Alien, I think, was on it as well. But this is not the songs on this were not that hard to come by, I have to say. Now, this one here I liked a lot. This was released again just after he died in 2016. Yeah, this one has, it's the Hunky Dory album, but it's the Ryko disc version that's on Picture Disc. Now, it's an unofficial release, but I just thought it was very clever, and they have here his passing there. The 1st of the 8/47, the 1st of the 10th, 2016. It was just a nice album to bring out at the time, I thought. Yeah. I've actually spun this, I've actually played this, and it doesn't actually sound bad at all for a picture disc, and especially an unofficial picture disc. But it was a nice piece, and I had to pick this up. So that's Hunky Dory. This one here I like a lot as well. This is another picture disc. This is from his Fame in Paris, it's called. This is from Live in Paris in on his Heathen tour, it would be. But I just like the pictures in this as well. It's just absolutely fantastic. Some great songs on the two. Fame, I'm Afraid of Americans, Fashion Rebel, Rebel Heroes, New Korean, New Town is on this as well. But it just looks fantastic, I thought. Yep, so that's that right there. Great picture. This one here, same idea again. This is David Bowie, The Man Who Play in Dublin. This is his reality tour. This went on, of course, to be released then as the reality tour box set. Again, same thing, you could get it on CD, but this was released before the actual album, the LP was released, so sounds good as well. David Bowie, The Man Who Played Dublin. So that's all the kind of unofficial releases. As I said, I've numerous amounts of unofficial material by David Bowie. I will get one day to do a CD one, perhaps, and maybe show more kind of, as I said, the old style kind of bootleg album. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. So yeah, that's it for now, and take care of yourselves and stay safe. Thanks, bye.